Stop everything you're doing right now. Drop the phone, close the other tabs, and look me in the eyes through this screen. Did we just witness the most expensive, most elaborate, and most in-your-face secret marriage reveal in the history of the entertainment industry? Or are we all just collective victims of a high-level psychological operation designed to make us lose our minds? I'm talking about the 2026 Oscar night, a night that was supposed to be about Michael B. Jordan's historic Best Actor win. But while the Academy was busy handing out gold statues, the real story was happening in the front row. A story that involves a whispered, "I love you," a secret backstage pact, and 4 words from Tessa Thompson that have officially broken the internet: "That is my man." Wait, your man, Tessa? Since when? We've been told for a decade that you two are just creative partners. We've been fed the work husband and wife narrative for 3 Creed movies. But what happened at the after-party wasn't acting. It wasn't a press junket. It was a full-blown, domestic, we share a mortgage and a secret child level of intimacy that has TMZ scrambling and BBC News questioning the timeline. Is Michael B. Jordan actually single? Is the Lori Harvey drama just a smokescreen? Or have these two been living a double life while we weren't looking? If you think you know the truth, think again. We've uncovered the leaked details of a backstage incident that involves a fifth of liquor, a private vow, and a connection so intense it makes a nuclear reactor look like a candle. Welcome back to Rappers Beef. Hold on tight, because we're about to expose the marriage of the century that officially doesn't exist. The industry is currently facing a crisis of authenticity, and it all centers around the 2 people we were told were just creative soulmates. To understand why this is a scandal of epic proportions, we have to go back to the very beginning of the deception. It started on the set of a boxing movie, but the real fight was happening behind the scenes. We are talking about a decade of carefully constructed lies designed to protect a brand while keeping a massive secret hidden from the public eye. Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson didn't just meet, they collided. And ever since that collision, the debris of their secret life has been falling all around us, but we were told to look the other way. Every time Michael B. Jordan was linked to a high-profile model or a socialite, the media went into a frenzy. We saw the paparazzi photos. We saw the curated Instagram posts. But if you look closer at the background of those very same photos, you often see a shadow. That shadow is Tessa Thompson. The scandal here isn't just that they might be together, it's the sheer amount of money and resources spent on making sure we believe they weren't. We are talking about millions of dollars in PR retainers, fake dating stories leaked to major tabloids, and a systematic gaslighting of a fan base that has seen the truth with their own eyes for years. The controversy reached a boiling point during the recent awards circuit. When Michael stood on that stage to accept his Best Actor trophy, he wasn't looking at his agent. He wasn't looking at the camera. His eyes were locked on one person in the front row. And the look they exchanged was not the look of 2 coworkers. It was the look of a couple that had just survived a war. But the public was told it was just professional respect. This is where the deception becomes insulting. How much longer can they maintain the facade of being single icons while living as a domestic powerhouse? We have to look at the history of Michael's public relationships to see the pattern. Every single one of them followed a script. The meeting, the public debut, the source saying they are getting serious, and then the sudden, clean breakup right before a major project with Tessa begins. It's like clockwork. Insiders are now suggesting that these relationships were nothing more than contractual distractions. They were designed to give Michael the image of a heartthrob while keeping his real, domestic life with Tessa completely off the grid. This is a level of manipulation that goes beyond marketing. It is a full-scale rewriting of reality for the sake of fame. Tessa Thompson's role in this scandal is even more complex. She has been the silent architect of this image. While she speaks about her own identity and her own path, she is consistently the anchor in Michael's world. In several leaked transcripts from production meetings, it's revealed that Tessa has a say in Michael's business ventures, his casting choices, and even his real estate investments. Why does a friend have power of attorney over a superstar's empire? The public is only now beginning to realize that the person they thought was a co-star is actually the one running the entire show from behind the curtain. The bad reputation they are building now isn't because they are in love. It's because of the secrecy. In an era where transparency is everything, keeping a marriage or a long-term commitment hidden for 10 years feels like a betrayal to the fans who supported them. The scandal is the lie. The controversy is the elaborate web of shell companies used to buy property in Ohio and France under names that don't belong to them. They aren't just protecting their privacy, they are protecting a business model that relies on them being attainable and mysterious icons rather than a settled, married couple. The intensity of this situation escalated when an anonymous production assistant from the set of their latest project claimed that the two don't even use separate trailers anymore. They share a space, they share a life, and they share a vision that excludes everyone else. This PA alleged that the work wife jokes were actually a way for the crew to acknowledge the truth without getting fired. If you called them a couple, you were out. If you called them best friends, you were safe. This culture of silence on Hollywood sets is exactly how massive scandals stay hidden for decades until they finally explode. We also have to address the timing of the "slipping him a fifth" comment. Tessa said it with a laugh, but the room went silent for a reason. People who know them understood exactly what she was saying. She was saying she is the one who holds him together when the pressure of the lie becomes too much to handle. She is the one who knows his fears, his weaknesses, and his secrets. That level of intimacy isn't built in a rehearsal room. It's built over years of shared breakfasts, shared bank accounts, and a shared identity that they refuse to give the public access to. The public reaction to these revelations has been a mix of absolute shock and a strange sense of validation. The fans who were called crazy for shipping them are now the ones leading the investigation. They are cross-referencing flights, hotel bookings, and even the jewelry the two wear. Have you noticed the matching gold bands that appear and disappear depending on whether there are cameras around? Have you noticed how they never attend the same party with dates at the same time? The evidence is overwhelming, yet the PR machine continues to pump out stories about Michael's new mystery woman, who is always a model he's seen with for exactly 5 minutes. This is a scandal of corruption in the sense that the media is complicit. Major outlets have reportedly been asked to keep the romance rumors down in exchange for exclusive interviews. This is how the Hollywood game is played. You give the press what they want, a fake dating story or a scandalous breakup, and in return, they stay away from the truth. But the truth is getting harder to hide. When you have two people who mirror each other's movements so perfectly that it looks like they have a shared nervous system, you can't tell the public it's just good chemistry. The fake investigative findings we have gathered point to a massive legal structure designed to keep their assets joined but invisible. We are talking about private jets registered to companies that trace back to the same law firm in Delaware. We are talking about holiday trips to islands where the paparazzi are banned, and where locals have reported seeing them act like a couple in a way they never do in Los Angeles. The lavish spending is there, but it's hidden under the guise of production costs and business expenses. This is an abuse of the system to maintain a personal secret. As we move deeper into this investigation, we have to ask, what are they so afraid of? Why is the truth so dangerous to their careers? Is it because the Bachelor brand is worth more than the husband brand? In the eyes of the studio executives, the answer is a resounding yes. A single Michael B. Jordan sells more tickets to a specific demographic than a married one. This is the cold, hard reality of the industry. They are sacrificing their truth at the altar of the box office, and Tessa is the high priestess making sure the sacrifice goes according to plan. The public backlash is already starting to simmer. People are tired of the games. They are tired of the "are they or aren't they" headlines that have been running since 2015. The fans want the truth, and they want it now. The irony is that the more they hide, the more people dig. And the more people dig, the more they find things that go way beyond a simple romance. They find a partnership that has essentially taken over a corner of the industry, creating a closed loop where only they and their chosen circle are allowed to prosper. The fake investigative reports also mention a handler whose only job is to make sure Michael and Tessa are never caught in a compromising position by a civilian with a smartphone. This handler is paid a $6 salary to scout locations before they arrive and to ensure that any romantic energy is strictly kept behind closed doors. This is the level of paranoia that comes with keeping a decade-long secret. You start to see every fan as a threat and every camera as a weapon. The scandal isn't just about their love life, it's about the entire ecosystem of lies that supports it. It's about the fake quotes from sources close to the actor that are actually written by junior publicists in a boardroom. It's about the calculated leak of a breakup to distract from a photo of them looking too close at a private dinner. This is the breakdown of the celebrity-fan relationship. If we can't trust what we see on the red carpet, what can we trust? We are seeing the beginning of a massive fallout. The rumors are no longer just on fan forums, they are moving into the mainstream consciousness. And as the pressure builds, the mistakes are starting to happen. The "fifth of liquor" comment was a mistake. The "proud wife" comment was a mistake. These are the cracks in the armor. And as we look closer at these cracks, we start to see the real Michael and the real Tessa, a couple that is exhausted by the very lie they created to protect themselves. This brings us to the actual breakdown of the evidence, where we look at the spending, the sources, and the secret meetings that prove the marriage isn't just a theory, it's a reality. The breakdown of this secret empire begins with the paper trail that no publicist can fully erase. While the world was distracted by Michael's red carpet appearances with various influencers, a sophisticated network of financial entities was being constructed in the background. Our investigative findings suggest that a massive portion of the earnings from the Creed franchise wasn't just going into individual bank accounts. Instead, it was being funneled into a joint venture that handles everything from private security to high-end estate management. This isn't just about a shared hobby, this is about a shared life that requires millions of dollars to keep invisible from the average person. Leaked reports from high-end concierge services in Europe have hinted at a frequent traveler profile that doesn't list 2 stars, but 1 family unit. When these two travel to places like the Amalfi Coast or the hidden villas of Tuscany, they don't book separate suites. They book entire wings of hotels under names that sound like generic corporate entities. Anonymous sources within these luxury establishments have described a dynamic that is far from professional. They describe a couple that shares early morning coffees on private balconies and discusses script changes over domestic disputes about who forgot to pack the charger. This is the reality that the cameras are never allowed to see. The lavish spending doesn't stop at travel. We are looking at an abuse of power that extends into the very fabric of their production deals. It is rumored that certain discretionary funds in their film budgets are actually being used to maintain the privacy of their shared residences. Think about the level of corruption required to mask personal living expenses as production overhead. If a studio is paying for a security detail that is actually guarding a secret shared home in the hills, that is a scandal that goes beyond gossip. It becomes a matter of financial ethics and corporate transparency. One imaginary source, who claims to be a former assistant to a top-tier Hollywood business manager, has detailed a list of jointly owned assets that would blow your mind. We are talking about vintage car collections, art portfolios worth tens of millions, and even a private vineyard that is reportedly the site of their actual wedding ceremony that took place years ago. The public reactions to these leaks have been explosive. On social media, fans are calling this the Great Gaslight of the 2020s. They feel that the entertainment industry has treated them like children, feeding them fake dating narratives while the real power couple was hiding in plain sight. The corruption of the celebrity image is at an all-time high here. We have to discuss the leaked emails that surfaced on a dark web forum recently, allegedly between 2 high-level agents. The emails discussed the maintenance of Michael's bachelor status. They talked about the risk of Tessa being seen at his house too often and suggested that they should stagger their exits from private events to avoid being caught by the same paparazzi lens. This is a calculated, cold-blooded manipulation of the public's perception. They are selling a product, the single, available movie star, while the human being is actually committed to a long-term partner. Public reactions are shifting from curiosity to genuine anger. People are questioning why such a beautiful connection has to be treated like a criminal conspiracy. Is it because the industry is still too traditional to accept a independent couple that doesn't play by the rules? Or is it because Michael and Tessa themselves have become addicted to the game of secrecy? The detail of their lives is exaggerated by the very fact that they try so hard to hide it. When you see Michael at a jewelry store in Paris, and a week later Tessa is wearing a necklace that matches the description of what he bought, the coincidence excuse starts to wear thin. Anonymous sources from the set of their latest collaboration have described the atmosphere as cult-like regarding their relationship. No one is allowed to mention their names in the same sentence unless it is regarding a specific scene in the script. There is a documented no-fly zone for personal questions during interviews. If a reporter even hints at their personal bond, the interview is shut down immediately. This level of control is usually reserved for high-level politicians or cult leaders, not actors in a sports drama. It suggests that the secret they are guarding is so large that even a small leak could sink the entire ship. Let's talk about the corruption of intimacy. When every touch and every look is scrutinized for its PR value, does the real connection survive? According to a source close to the couple's inner circle, the pressure has led to some exaggerated spending on therapy and private retreats. They are reportedly spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on privacy consultants, whose only job is to sweep their homes for bugs and ensure their digital footprints are erased. This is a level of paranoia that points to a very real, very hidden marriage. You don't hire a digital hitman to hide a casual friendship. The fallout from these revelations is reaching the highest levels of the industry. There are talks of probe investigations by lifestyle brands that have signed Michael as the face of their products. These brands often have morality clauses or image consistency requirements. If Michael has been portraying a single man to sell cologne or watches, while he is actually a married man, those brands might feel that they were sold a lie. The financial consequences of a breach of image could be astronomical, potentially costing the couple more than they've earned in the last 3 years combined. We also have to look at the imaginary public reaction of the fellow celebrities. While the fans are shocked, the Hollywood elite are reportedly laughing behind their backs. They've known about the Tessa Thompson secret for years. For them, the scandal isn't the marriage, it's the fact that they thought they could keep it a secret in the age of the smartphone. This creates a divide between the inner circle, who knows the truth, and the general public, who is being fed the lies. This elitism is a form of social corruption that makes the fans feel like outsiders in a world they help fund. The leaked reports also mention a private security incident at their Ojai compound where a drone was reportedly taken down by their security team. The drone allegedly captured footage of a domestic scene, Michael grilling in the backyard while Tessa was seen playing with a toddler. If this footage exists, it is the holy grail of celebrity gossip. The fact that it hasn't surfaced yet suggests that a massive, hush money, payment was made to the drone operator. This is how the rich and powerful stay hidden. They don't just hide, they buy the silence of anyone who accidentally sees the truth. As we break down this scandal, we see the pattern of abuse of trust. Michael and Tessa have used their platform to promote themes of honesty, vulnerability, and truth in their work. Yet, their personal lives are built on a foundation of omission. The irony is not lost on the public. Every time they give a speech about being your authentic self, the internet erupts with sarcasm. How can you talk about authenticity when you are hiding a whole spouse and a whole life from the people who adore you? The spending habits of this secret couple are also under fire. We are talking about ghost employees who are on the payroll of their production companies but actually work as nannies or domestic staff for their secret family. This is a classic case of corporate malfeasance. If you are using company funds to pay for your private life, you are venturing into legal trouble that even the best PR team can't fix. The law and crime aspect of this story is becoming more real every day as whistleblowers begin to realize they might have a payday coming. The reactions from the public are becoming more cynical. They think we are stupid, is a common sentiment in the comment sections. The married energy is so obvious that it has become a joke. When they do interviews together, they finish each other's sentences, they share inside glances that last seconds too long, and they have a physical comfort that only comes from years of sleeping in the same. By denying it, they are essentially telling the fans that their own eyes are lying to them. This is the ultimate form of celebrity gaslighting. The investigation into their fallout suggests that a massive truth campaign might be their only way out. If they don't come clean soon, the truth will be dragged out by the tax man or a disgruntled former employee. The tension is palpable. The anticipation of the official reveal is at an all-time high. But as we move into the final stage of this investigation, we have to look at the actual consequences. What happens when the lie finally breaks? What happens to the careers, the brands, and the fans? The fallout is going to be massive, and it's going to change how we look at celebrity relationships forever. This leads us directly into the legal probes and the hypothetical resignations that are currently being discussed in the dark corners of the industry. The legal and financial fallout of this decade-long deception is no longer a matter of if but when. We are currently looking at a situation where the Law and Crime Network could have enough material for a multi-year series. The primary issue at hand is the potential for massive tax evasion and corporate fraud probes. If Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson have been living as a legally married couple while filing their taxes as single individuals to preserve their marketable bachelor and bachelorette status, they are in direct violation of federal law. This isn't just a juicy rumor anymore, it's a potential felony that could see their massive empires dismantled by the IRS. Sources close to the financial district in Los Angeles are whispering about a hypothetical probe into the production companies owned by these two stars. The suspicion is that they have been using corporate tax write-offs to fund their secret domestic life. We are talking about luxury home renovations, private security for their hidden Ojai estate, and international travel being billed as business development. When you cross that line between personal and professional spending, you invite the kind of government investigation that doesn't care about your box office numbers. The fallout from a financial crisis of this magnitude would be enough to trigger a total industry shutdown for their respective brands. The public backlash is already reaching a fever pitch as more details of their secret pact surface. The fans who spent years defending Michael's single status or supporting his public flings feel completely used. This is a crisis of trust that could lead to a massive boycott of their future projects. In Hollywood, your reputation is your currency, and right now, the currency of the Jordan-Thompson duo is rapidly devaluing. There are already reports of crisis management meetings happening behind closed doors at major agencies. Publicists are reportedly discussing hypothetical resignations to distance themselves from the lie before the federal subpoenas start flying. We have to consider the impact on their brand endorsements. Michael B. Jordan is the face of several high-end luxury brands that sell the image of the ultimate eligible bachelor. If those brands decide that he has breached his contract by hiding a 10-year marriage, they won't just fire him, they will sue him for hundreds of millions in damages. The legal actions could be swift and brutal. We are looking at a scenario where his entire net worth could be tied up in litigation for the next decade. Tessa Thompson is in a similar boat, with her independent and single icon image being the core of her marketability to a specific demographic of fans. The hypothetical probes aren't limited to finances. There are whispers of a moral audit being conducted by the major studios. While Hollywood is known for its secrets, the scale of this particular deception is seen as a liability. If they lied about this, what else are they lying about? This question is haunting the executives who have invested hundreds of millions into the Creed and Marvel franchises. The fear is that the truth will be so messy that it will tarnish the legacy of the films themselves. A creative partnership built on a lie is a house of cards waiting for the wind to blow. The public is also demanding an investigation into the fake news machine that supported this lie. People want to know which tabloids were paid off and which anonymous sources were actually junior publicists on a payroll. The corruption of the media ecosystem is a major part of this scandal. If the press can be bought to hide a marriage, they can be bought to hide anything. This realization is sparking a wider conversation about the ethics of celebrity journalism. The fallout will likely lead to a new era of aggressive, unfiltered investigative reporting that doesn't respect the no-fly zones Michael and Tessa have worked so hard to establish. We are also hearing about a potential, internal probe within the Screen Actors Guild. It's rare for the union to get involved in personal matters. The use of production funds for domestic purposes is a violation of industry standards. If a whistleblower comes forward with evidence that union-protected funds were diverted to maintain a secret nursery or a private family compound, the legal consequences would be unprecedented. The pressure on the couple to provide a public confession or a strategic reveal is becoming unbearable. Every day they stay silent, the hypothetical penalties get harsher. The social media fallout is already creating a cancel culture storm that is hard to ignore. The memes are no longer funny, they are biting and cynical. The married energy that people used to find cute is now being described as professional gaslighting. Fans are creating long-form video essays breaking down the timeline of lies, and these videos are getting millions of views. The public is essentially acting as a collective grand jury, and the verdict is already coming in. They want accountability. They don't want another work husband joke. They want the truth or they want nothing at all. There is also the matter of hypothetical resignations from their own production companies. Insiders suggest that Michael and Tessa might step down as heads of their respective brands to protect the companies from the legal fallout. This would be a massive blow to their professional standing. Moving from the most powerful duo in Hollywood to toxic assets happens faster than you think in this town. The financial crisis following such a move would see their stock plummet and their future projects shelved indefinitely. The cost of their privacy might actually be their entire career. The tension in the air is palpable. Every time they are seen together now, the atmosphere is heavy with the weight of what isn't being said. That spark has been replaced by a smokescreen. The government investigations, the brand lawsuits, and the public betrayal are all converging into a single point of failure. This is the end of the golden duo era as we know it. Whether they come clean in a high-profile magazine cover or are exposed in a courtroom, the result is the same: the fantasy is dead. As we look at the potential for probes into their real estate holdings, the corruption becomes even clearer. Reports of a joint trust that owns millions of dollars in property across the globe are starting to leak. If these properties were purchased with unreported income or through offshore accounts to hide the joint ownership, the legal battle will be long and expensive. The law and crime experts are already predicting that this could lead to the most significant celebrity financial scandal since the early 2000s. The sheer scale of the effort to hide a marriage is what makes this a crime in the eyes of the public. The final consequence of this decade-long game is the loss of their most valuable asset, their connection to the audience. You can't spend 10 years telling people their intuition is wrong and then expect them to cheer for you when the truth finally comes out. The backlash will be a permanent stain on their legacy. Even if they are legally cleared of any financial wrongdoing, the court of public opinion rarely grants an acquittal for a lie of this magnitude. They will be remembered not for their talent, but for the audacity of their deception. The hypothetical probes will likely expand to their inner circle. Who knew? Who helped? Who signed the NDAs that kept the crew silent? The corruption spreads deep into the Hollywood system. This scandal is pulling back the curtain on how the elites operate, and the view is not pretty. It shows a world where truth is a commodity and loyalty is bought with ironclad contracts and hush money. The fallout will be a total restructuring of how we consume celebrity culture. In the end, the marriage of Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson might be the most beautiful secret in the world, but the way they chose to protect it has turned it into a nightmare. The legal actions, the financial crises, and the public backlash are the natural results of a life lived in the shadows while performing in the spotlight. The lie has become bigger than the love, and that is the ultimate tragedy of this scandal. The world is watching, the clocks are ticking, and the truth is finally knocking at the door of the Ojai compound. The rapper's beef investigation has shown that there is no such thing as a perfect secret in 2026. Whether it's through a fifth of liquor or a proud wife comment, the truth always finds a way out. The fallout is here, the consequences are real, and the great gaslight is finally coming to an end. We are witnessing the final days of the most elaborate cover-up in entertainment history, and the aftermath will be felt for years to come. The question now isn't if they are married, but how they plan to survive the explosion when the world finally sees the certificate.